What's up guys, it's Light Spiral here, and today I have a video that I've been working on for a long time now. As you can see on your screen, this whole team is at 5-star, level 35, and they're all awakened and everything. But this is video I kind of made to show you just how easy it is to make a Giants B10 team for people that are trying to stall on it, and for people that are trying to make a Giants B10 team but just can't quite make it yet. I can't get there. This is hopefully going to help some of you guys figure out how you're going to get there, because you'll see in a sec, or when this runs over, I'll show you the runes on these guys and the skill ups, and you'll see that these runes are not at all impossible to get. I got most of these runes in Giants B7. I'd only did Giants B8 for about 5 or 6 days before I got to Giants B10. So to put that in perspective of how quick you can possibly get up to this stage. Now, the first thing that a lot of you guys are going to notice is that this team does not have a cleanser on it. I highly do not recommend that you don't run a cleanser, and for the simple reason of the defense breaks that the boss is going to put on you in the boss stage are going to be very deadly if your guys aren't tanky enough for it. And second thing you guys are going to notice is that Acasis is not technically farmable. I put her in this farmable team because A, she does not have a huge purpose in this team. B, I gave her the worst runes out of all 5 of these guys. And C, because she actually has had either 2 or 3 different Hall of Heroes, so a lot of people are going to have an Acasis. So that's why I know she's technically not farmable, but there are definitely farmable options. But this account, I tried to make it, this team, insanely easy to get. You don't have to farm any light dark monsters from secret dungeons. You don't have to fuse anything. It's just like, other than Acasis, this team is all easy to get. Bernard is in a scenario, Ramahan's in a scenario, Rakaja is in Unknown Scrolls, and Shannon's in Unknown Scrolls. And then, like I said, Acasis isn't technically farmable. But you could just use Kona, and Kona will do better than Acasis. I just wanted to see if you could really make a Giants B10 team without a cleanser, which it definitely can happen. So also I want to mention that this team only has around an 85% success rate right now, but I'll show you guys the runes, and you'll be able to see that there's definitely enough room for improvement to make it so this team is going to be 100% success. And so that's pretty cool, because this is all 5 stars. You don't have to waste a single 6-star on your Giants team, which is just going to help you a ton in your progression. Of course, I don't think there's any problem at all 6-starring anyone in your Giants team. It just makes you run safer. But for those of you who do not want to 6-star your Giants team just because it's too long to do that, this team works at all 5-star, every one of them. So I'll get into the units now. The first unit I have is Acasis, the Wind Sylphid. This is not technically farmable, but I'll just go ahead and say why she's in the team anyways. The reason she's in the team is because the leader skill gives wind monsters resistance, which is close to having a cleanser. It's not having a cleanser, but it's as close as you can get. So that, and then her third skill gives your whole team a shield proportionate to her level and 3 turns of anti-crit, which is very helpful. So that's really why she's in the team. Her second skill does a small heal of about 20%, and her first skill does a dot, which is nicer for the boss stage. But the main reasons is her third skill, and her leader skill is nice too. Now I'll have Rakaja. Reason he's in the team, there's just one reason in the team. It's because he's a healer, and he's a pretty decent healer at that. So that's why he's in the team. It's, it could technically be, you could call it a waste of space. I can show you how this team can be way optimized. I've made a Giants B10 video earlier, and I recommend you build that team before you build this team, in terms of like the other team is going to be a lot easier to make it run Giants B10, just because the rune requirements you need is a lot lower than this team, but this team still works with bad runes. And so Ramahan is in this team for one reason only, and that is his second skill will strip the attack buff off the boss. So another one you could say is kind of a waste of space to have a whole guy in here just to strip attack buff, but you need to be able to strip the attack buff. Shannon is in here honestly for all 3 of her skills. You guys probably know about Shannon. The defense buff third skill is insanely helpful. The AoE slow is insanely helpful, and the glancing hit's also insanely helpful. And then Bernard is in here. You guys once again probably know all about Bernard. He's in here because his second skill is going to attack break the boss, which is extremely helpful. And then his third skill is going to buff your team's attack speed and attack bar, which is, once again, I'm getting redundant here, but extremely helpful. Now, I'll start getting replacements. Acasis. Best replacement you could possibly find for Acasis is going to be a cleanser. Whether it's Vera, whether it's Kona, whether it's Delphoy, a cleanser is going to be great to replace Acasis. I don't have a cleanser on this account, of course. I have a Kona, but it's at like 3-star and it doesn't have runes on it, so I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use a 3-star Kona without runes in Giants B10. But so that's your replacement for Acasis, and a cleanser will do a lot better than Acasis. I can't stress that enough. Replacements for Rakaja is literally the best healer you have. Rakaja does have a pretty good heal, but since the fact that he only does a heal, he's really just not that useful. Now this run was a 5.5 minute run. The average run time is anywhere from 5 to 6 minutes, so it is slow, but that's just Giants B10 starter teams. All starter teams you're going to have are going to be slow. It's just the way it goes. But so we're replacing Rakaja as your favorite healer. Bella is going to be a great replacement because Bella is going to not only replace Rakaja but replace Ramahan. Because like I said earlier, Ramahan is just in here for the buff strip. So your replacements for Ramahan is anyone that strips buffs, like the Wind Megan. I don't know what is it called, Mystic Witch. The Wind Mystic Witch will strip buffs. Bella will do Rakaja's and Ramahan's job. So if you put in Bella, you can take out Rakaja and Ramahan, and then put in a damage dealer, another healer, attack gauge debuffer, whatever you might want, you can put in there instead. So that's the replacements for both of those. Shannon, I don't really recommend you try and replace her, but if you really want to replace her, you're going to want a defense buffer, AoE defense buffer. And Bernard is another one I really do not recommend you try and replace him, but a speed buffer will help you replace Bernard. But one thing that you're going to make sure you want in Giants, something we want in all Giants teams, is you want buff strip, you want attack break, and you want defense buff. With those three things, your runs get a lot easier to complete. Now, that's the units and the replacements and why they're in here and stuff. I'll explain why this team works. Now, this team is all wind, which is kind of obvious, but between these guys, what we have is this wind leader skill, which, in all honesty, is much better. A cleanser replaces leader skill very good, but let's say you do use a cleanser like Kona or Vero instead of Acasis. You put that Ramahan leader skill in, and you've got 23% speed, which is going to be really good. But getting on to why this team works, this team will provide you with all wind, which gives you full attribute advantage over the boss, which means the boss is going to get a chance to glance on you a lot. This team provides glancing hits with Shannon. It provides attack break with Bernard, defense buff with Shannon, buff strip with Ramahan, shield with Acasis, anti-crit with Acasis, and then it has 2 healers. It has defense break, it has speed buff, it has speed debuff, and it's got dots. So basically what you're going to have on your team is you're going to have speed buff, attack buff, defense buff, shield, and anti-crit, so 5 buffs. And the boss is going to have defense break, attack break, glancing hit, speed debuff, and no attack buff, which is 4 debuffs, plus it's not going to get an attack buff. So the advantage you have over the boss is a ton. The only advantage the boss might ever have over you is, since you don't have a cleanser on this team, you're going to get defense broken. But you're going to have defense buff and shield and anti-crit, and the boss is going to have glancing hit, attack debuff, so the boss is going to have a hard time killing you. So this team really does have about all you'd want in your Giants team, other than just 6-starring them. And there's no damage dealer, so it's a slow run. But I'll show you guys the runes. Here's my Rakaja. Here, I'll show you an order of how I chose, like, who was the most important to rune in my opinion. The first most important person I thought was Shannon, because her base HP is so low at 5,000. I needed to give her the best runes I could so she'd be tanky. Now, the first thing I want to say is my general guideline for Giants B10 is every unit you have gets 15,000 HP, 800 defense, 170 speed, and 45 accuracy. Now the reason for 45 accuracy is because in Giants B10, 45 accuracy is the same as having 100. Anything above 45 gives you 100 accuracy in Giants B10, as well as a couple other dungeons in TOA. But so if you get 45, that's all you'll need. You're only going to get resisted 15% of the time if you have 45% accuracy. So you want to get 45% accuracy. But so my Shannon's got max accuracy, 170 speed, 15,000 HP. It doesn't have 800 defense, but it got as close as I can. And I have it on Swift Energy. I recommend Despair if you can. And I'll explain why later. And I have this with HP, HP, and HP again. You can pause it to check out any of those runes if you do want to. Now the next best runes that I put on would have been Bernard. So this is what my Bernard looks like. He's got max accuracy, 170 speed, 800 defense, excuse me, and it looks like just under 15,000 HP. But I could just upgrade a rune to get him up to that much. His runes are just Swift Broken Set with this HP, defense, and accuracy. Now, one thing I also want to note, with every single rune set I used in this team is a rune set that you can obtain from Giants. So you don't have to go into Dragons at all to get these runes, because I have Swift Energy Giants, Swift Broken Set Giants, Energy Giants, Swift Energy Giants, Energy Giants. Now I do have 2 guard runes on these guys, but they're not the set. I'm not getting the set effects from them. They're just guard runes that I just happen to get from World Boss or something, because I'll show you in a second, or I can just show you now. This account has never touched Dragons or Necro, if I can click it. So I've literally just been in Giants. But so my next best runes were on Ramahan. I got max accuracy, over 170 speed, over 800 defense, over 15,000 HP. He's on that with speed, HP, and accuracy. So there's my Ramahan. You can still pause it whenever you want to. And now Rakaja is my 4th best runes. My Rakaja, I don't need accuracy on him because his accuracy is not going to do anything for me. The stun doesn't work on the boss, and the speed debuff is going to get overpowered by Shannon anyways. So I don't care about the accuracy. The speed is lacking a ton. He's on 122 speed, but he has the right amount of defense and HP. So, I mean, obviously there's improvements I can make on him. I don't have the runes to give 5 monsters those criteria I said earlier. But so, like I said, these runes, can definitely be improved, and you guys can make better runes in these. But I have this with HP, 3-star HP rune, and HP again. So, there's my Rakaja. And then my worst runes are going to be on this Acasis. Or, I mean, I guess my Acasis and my Rakaja are kind of equally bad runes. But my Acasis, you don't need accuracy on Acasis because her only debuff is a dot, which is not that necessary. So I didn't focus on accuracy for her. She has 145 speed, which is less than I wanted. What is that, like 550 defense, which is less than I wanted, and 17,000 HP, which is good enough. But the defense and speed are both lacking on my Acasis, and I'll show you the runes. It's Energy Broken Set with this rune on HP, 4-star HP rune, and another 4-star defense rune. So you guys can definitely see that these guys definitely have a ton of room for improvement. These guys are all max skilled though. Rakaja, you can get skill ups from unknown scrolls in the shop. Shannon is the same. Ramahan, your skill ups are going to come from Fame and Volcano, the first stage, and Tulane Forest. Acasis, I did use Devil Mons on Acasis, but like I said, you're probably going to replace an Acasis with a konamiya or Vero. And so konamiya skill ups are in the shop. Vero, you're going to have to use Devil Mons for Vero. And then Bernard, I got him max skill. You can get his skill ups in the Timor Desert. So that shows you how easy these runes are to get and how easy this team is in general to get and to build and whatnot. And so yeah, I was kind of excited to show you guys this, just to show you how easy it is to do this. And I forgot, I said earlier I was going to mention why Shannon and Acasis should be on Despair. That's because on the first 4 stages, if Shannon and Acasis are on Despair, since they both have AoEs, they will be able to stun the crystals, because this team will always target the crystals last, because everyone's wins, so everyone's going to attack the water guys, and the crystals are element neutral, so the Despair stuns will help you survive the first stages easier. And so that's that. But that's really all there is to say about the team. It's easy to make. It doesn't need great runes to be able to farm it. It's a slow run. That's definitely a thing. This works with, I have a couple maxed runes, but most of these runes are not maxed. I have 3-star runes. I have 4-star runes on slots 2, 4, and 6. I'd recommend you get into Giants as quick as possible. This team will definitely work, and it's easy to make. But if you use Kona or Vero instead of Acasis, this team will be way easier to make, because Acasis does not do as good as a cleanser, and I found that out while making this team. But that's all I have for today, though, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to tell me in the comments. And that's all for today, though, guys. So may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows.